So, what will Minfilia be deep in thought about today? Welcome back to my play of Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, patch 3. Don't quote me on that. So I'm expecting some business afoot, figuring out about the students of Baldesion, scriptures of Baldesion, science of Baldesion, the people that are missing, and we are now expecting the worst. And previous patches history tells me to expect a primal battle as well. So I'm just been pondering who that's gonna be. It will be interesting. But let's see what Minfilia has to say, and I really need answers about these Baldessian people. Yes, Baldessian and its students. My first one was right. Why did I ever wonder? I'm the best. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No. It avails us not to speculate. Rioch will send word if there's any developments. Until such a time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on which is within our powers to change. Can we travel to the island? With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations that have previously attributed to good King Mogulmog the 12th. That the king... 17th? I forgot to read his number. Good King Mogulmog. There. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet it's not well in the 12th wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. We start with the primal question. Ew, did not expect that. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Celia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, are coming to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave to the Domans. At present they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Celia, you know full that we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. We're doing politics. I have a problem with everything that we did this. I do not have a problem with the outcome, but that we went to the Syndicate to do this. Stabo, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Of course. Why not do more politics when we're supposed to be apolitical? That's just super. Where is this? In a different room? Place? Household bar? They're in the bar! The bar is the 7th heaven. Good to know. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the science of the 7th dawn. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourself. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Beg pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years, trying to piece together a life to replace one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bees in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where, and then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. Well, it is true we accepted Doman's petition for aid. The decision was a product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your backs on us. If I might have a word? Tataru, his autumn is? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alfpinaud has been wounded. No! What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the Refugee started a riot. They went wild, apparently lashing out at everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and end anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the one we got. Oh, we have to now. We started this mess. My lady. We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attack without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alfpinaud, and quick. If he's in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Done. Stoic nod. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalemo. We'll see to it. Alfpinaud's been treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Stabbo. Let me hurry. Stop showing me you walking away. I need to go to him. This is the fastest I've ever teleported. I'll teleport faster. Yeah, Hourglass, okay. He's still standing here. Does he have bandages on? Is he okay? Looks to be in one piece. No missing limbs.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dah, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dah way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dahs to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Domans asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Oh no. Didn't need that. It's okay. Oh no, I clicked too fast. Have I piqued your curiosity? Yes? Good, for then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. My finger slipped. I missed 4 lines. Can we read it here? Can we read it here? Suspecting that the riot which was injured was not, in fact, a spontaneous outpouring of popular dissent, Alfpinaud is eager to discuss the incident with... Okay, I couldn't read it there. We'll just have to deal. Where is, Aetheryte, Crystal, Jiggy-Wig? Yeah, if I were gonna know that door, that's what I thought I did, which is why I read it. I couldn't see the crystal. It's okay. It's okay. It's not okay. Because I'm, of course, going to... Here. Think, Sabo. Think! That would help everyone. Blink. Blink. No, it's not a good time, Stabbo. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alfpinaud, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Shoguns. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secure the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread through the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout the Anlan. We have sent what forces we can spare to the root out the last of the belligerents, but process is slow. They are elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Ascians. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tension between the Ul'dah citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that motivate starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they'd sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against the benefactors. Come to the point. Well, my point, General, is that this power keg of discontent was not set ablaze by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That's my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shrink responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face hard criticism in the days ahead. Our allies might stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Dabo. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. This I can deal with. Mostly because I think it is Ascian involvement, but anyway, outside involvement hurting people. Investigation, I do say. Feels less political, which is what we are. And I think it's Ascians, but it's, you know, it is our thing. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information. Better no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I meanwhile shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Yes, we shall. Give me information. You look as though you have something to say, Stavo. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words, and an able individual may be better suited for the task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin speaking with the Brass Blades posted there. Okay. I will do just that. Tough situation. The world trying to end, not ending. Look what I got. Look what I got. Oi! It's a frog machine thingy. I bought it from the Muggle coins that you get from some dungeons that I do random dungeons daily. I have another one. We'll see when it pops up. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees. Well, then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? No, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like the merchant who passed through recently. Gregorious fellow, but an awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I'm increasingly concerned that Zwazaga's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Sasa Wasaka. He will explain everything. Just tell me it's Ascians. Don't hurt me, I'm not one of them. Oh, wait to know your face. Are you not the woman from the Church of Saint Adama, Lada Baba? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leo Fibrick bid you speak to me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that. Because you haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the frenetic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution or retribution, of holding the ruling class of account and taking that which is owed. Such childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my word. Know that one of our idealists has returned, however. The madness of the merchant plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent. Look behind yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even though he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words, beyond the fact that he was not alone in surveying. Yet I've no doubt that the merchants will lead their remainder to the doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. But what are you doing? Don't draw, don't draw, don't draw, don't draw, don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me, be there to soothe me. Why did you have to leave me alone? Calm. Who are you? What do you want? It's true. I followed the merchants, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not forgive, you must take. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed the cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running, and then there were the others. Was so excited. He split us into 2 groups and sent us on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone's fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh god, it's the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Yeah, that's not ideal. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope. But to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to end us than listen to reason. While the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. a pox on sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh. If only we never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that is it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that the strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then will they agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Okay, I'll fight the twins then. The twins shall be mine. To, what does I want to say? Be mine to shown. I'm not making mockery, but just shown meaningless. Meaninglessness. 7. They found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. What's your game? Is it? So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass. We're more than willing to end you ourselves. Yeah, I get that. Where is the thing now? That one. I moved around the spells because I never liked them. But you know, I still need to remember where I put them. Could have used an AoE there since it was just one cast, but whatever. You beat him like it was nothing. Thor Almighty, what are we gonna do now? Okay. Don't think that was the twins, but let's see. What was that? Did you see the lines thingy? You returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them taking a beating from you than the lot getting butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? But where else would he be unless he went to Stone Throw to recruit others? I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I do not. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there is nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to cease this mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Okay. Stone Throw. So is that a settlement? Oh, it's the little, just the tents just outside Ul'dah. I see. Come on, show me the merchant person. There we have Elle. Have you seen my parents? Then they told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left me with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were gonna change everything. Make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. Of course you did, girlie. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for a merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, over there. I think it's him. Well, now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? Mistrustful merchant. Make me your victim, I'll show you who's the victim then. You! I! Okay. He's getting away! Go get him, miss! Oh yeah, baby girl! Good effort chasing music. Hi! You again? Why are you pursuing me? Who's the Ascian you've been talking to? Sedation? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. A testimony of a girl? No. I will not accompany you to the whole flames. You have no rights to detain me. I do. But for the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a Kirkin's arse about politics. It was business. Only business. We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I'll tell you everything. Yeah, that's bad. He took an arrow to the chest knee. What is this commotion? 7H. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer might still be close. I know where the arrow came from. Yeah. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his passing. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe this and debt of gratitude? In any case, it's obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Well, thank you. To hold flames. Well, I want to chase him. Rude. I should have ported. I just assumed I'd come in where I port to, because that's logic is something I can't reason with, but let's just move on and run. There, this Mogul is the one who gave me the new mount, and the other one we have not seen yet. What news, Dabo? Where is the merchant? Well... Mad. Darn it all to the 7th age. He was not simply ended, Dabo, he was silenced. The man knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Okay? The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the fragment chambers as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alfpinaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the royal promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. This, I hope, is the Chamber of Rule, because I'm not even going to check, because I need to land this soon. Yeah. I learned a thing. We have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room.
Okay. Not even to Minfilia?
The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination.
Policy, you say?
Together with a group of Alamigan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence.
As he said.
Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Carteneau Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Carteneau Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
Where is it?
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Carteneau Flats. That much is common knowledge.
And where?
What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless, bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
I don't want to fight that.
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Carlians did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Ul'dah like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Ul'dah.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Oh, poopsicle. We should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought of all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the science? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Lieutenant Nabham. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cardinal. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children. Hello. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents? You know this girl? So he visited Stone Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You will help me look, mister? Of course, but first we must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Mombody will know what to do. Oh, a legion of Garleans, an ether-starved primal. Even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. I think it's somehow connected, though. Sometimes a feminine figure is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in responses and threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Sabo, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Hall with all due haste. The situation in the 12th Wood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. The 12th Wood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed? I have received no reports of XL activity, which leaves the sylphs. Go, Sabo. I know as well as that you know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the Antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't worry for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. I'm glad. That was weird, but okay. Stories we tell. This quest is named. But I wanted to help the girl. I'm just a stupid softie. We got a good place, I like this, this place. Layouts. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Sabo. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only inquiry Alfpinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal along. The other science will need to be present for this meeting. If you're ready to begin, I will summon them now. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal RAMUH. I'm sorry, may have? Then it's not certain? The elder seer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The sylph lands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, descendant, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike this more Belocious compensates, Garuda and so on, RAMUH is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would not soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the sylphs of the territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. We were not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely have escaped. It would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon. You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it. I told Pop, I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the sylphs feel about people poking around their territory? They already summoned RAMUH once right after the calamity, but that was because the Guardians came trampling through the forest. As long as Castrum Orient stands, the sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Blackshard. That, alas, I did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. It is like that the sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eosia would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Strabo, through your dealings with the sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing their untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If RAMUH can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. Ooh, that would be so cool! I fond hope, were such things possible, we would not have been at war with beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs find consult with the nations most affected by RAMUH's presence. The elder seer has requested your personal investment, Slavo. Pray report to Commander Helio in the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow science will of course lend you whatever support you require. You never battled him with me. You have held back. Adds so where is that? Lord of Levin. Sounds like I'm about to face the primal. What if we could commune with them? Oh, that would be so cool. I doubt it is possible in any way, shape, or form. But it would be cool. You can't disagree with that. Not expected. Just theorized. Sabo of the Science, your arrival is most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Doman stands ready for any eventuality, and know of no one more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed. I would have you do so without delay. The elder seed Sia, however, would speak with you first. She is in the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial skills, may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofilch's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Strand. I know where that is. I have learned a thing. It is, of course, with the Conjurer skills. That's wrong. I'm gonna cut it out because it will be awkward. But it isn't. The other signs have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Yes, you may.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. RAMUH is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands.
Where else?
Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord RAMUH is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord RAMUH himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
Maybe RAMUH doesn't want to share, though.
You have
Dancing
my
one.
thanks.
Oh, I love the sylph so much.
Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin.
Oh, it would be so cool.
A an ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelve's Wood that flinches at its coming. All the land's Veorsia shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Oh, it's gonna be some. It's gonna temper me. It's not gonna work. It's gonna assume I'm tempered with someone else. It's gonna be mad. I'm gonna try and speak, but since he's a deity, he just won't. But it would be so cool. Sabo of the Science. I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal RAMUH himself. An inevitable task. Invitable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow Science are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Now then? Is that now then? Now then? I'm ready now. I forgot to read the name of the quest. I'm curious. I was told a messenger would be sent soon as soon as the fellow Science finished their investigation. I do not imagine it would be much longer. Hi. This one returns and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching, and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touched One summons Lord RAMUH. So, your timing is impeccable, my fluttering friend. Might you be so kind to escort this woman to her fellow Science? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please come with this one. Yes. I wanted to say madam, but they all just look so feminine, I don't know. When they haven't used any pronouns. Because you cannot understand from their names. Wise one have ventured deep within the Sylphland. This one must proceed carefully. These ones must proceed carefully, and keep an eye out for touched ones. Or just lie. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord RAMUH, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. I miss being Dancing One. Violence. Violet, okay, that was better. Can we see him? Where is he? So, it's actually you, I'm relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylphic tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Ishtol's face when they were impersonating you. When the one they were impersonating you suddenly showed up. This is quite enough, pop. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring E3 activities in the area, and I'm pleased to say I have reached an reputable conclusion, to wit that RAMUH was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylphic Aetherites. Sylphs Aetherites. Come, Stavo, Lord of Leven awaits. Awaits, actually. Awaits. Awaits. Event cancelled. Things are bugging out now. But okay. Hi. Sorry. Cuties!
Thine betrays thee, servant of hiding.
Sorry? Cast a shield, please. Bearded one.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am RAMUH, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
To parley.
The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man.
Not also.
Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just.
My kindness, but not me.
Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other.
I disagree.
Thy conflict hath brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye, but there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial.
Okay, I like this.
Thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony. I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
I'm fine with this. I could not expect this one bit. Actually.
Me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord RAMUH, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Alright. Parley and fight him is just the best outcome that could have been expected. That is so cool. So we will queue for this, and I will crop back in when a dungeon comes. Here we go. Here we go. So RAMUH's trial. Intriguing. Light party, full party. The striking tree. How many times will I pass here? I'm gonna try Swirl it too. Lord of Lightning. Go for it! Smash! Go Titan! Smash! Go Garuda! Oh, I had words for this for once. Oh, I've forgotten my words for this. It was Ifrit, Tear, Saw, Scorch. It was Titan Smash. And Garuda Saw, wasn't it? Blast. That blast. Oh. Ow. Terra. Okay. I just can't do anything. I'm assuming that would have been avoidable. I just don't know what I did wrong. Oh, that is such a long one. Woo! Don't you dare. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Garuda Blast! Right. There. Oh shoot. Okay. Okay, I got thing on me and I think I should have gone in the circle in this. That is my now premonition. Because I'm bad again. We did the circle the first time, but I was disoriented by looking at ads. Oh, I feel so failed. Let's have a line. Damage taken each time an action is used. She ran as far away from me as possible, so I'm just gonna keep that. And pretend that I have any idea what I'm doing. An action, okay? It didn't work! And what was I supposed to do? Going into this dungeon's mind is now getting annoying. I'm gonna need to consider if that's the thing I want to continue doing, cause... But I think I should, for this fun of it, but ooh, annoyed. This be over. Didn't mean to end him, it was just a trial. Didn't get yelled at though. So that's something. I do not get one, but let's give one to that one. There's nothing loot-wise, right? Okay. That was annoying. I need to figure out what the strategy for that one actually is till next time.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
I will report back to the lieutenant in Rising Solace when you next see me, and I'll be there. And I met with the Storm Serpent Lieutenant. Stabalina, you have returned. Dear as RAMUH received your visit. He challenged you to your terms at arms. Is it well then that you have some experience in such matters? The people of Vorkordania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest's champion of peace. You performed monumentally duty this day, Stabble. The other seeds here must be informed of your deeds at once. Yes, let me go speak. The other seeds here wish to hear of your experience firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Strand. The Conjurer will be expecting you. Fare you well, Stabble. I will make direct way there, then. Brain on. Back home's honored sign. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The elder seeds here awaits you within. How kind.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord RAMUH ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? RAMUH made trial of you?
Of me?
I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Carteneau, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord RAMUH has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Stabble? I'd hope Lord RAMUH could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the erodiness with which you responded to the primal sudden challenge. And it seems that Oriange was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Stabo? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? I say yes. Oh, drinking tea, I hope. Welcome back, Stabo. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord RAMUH precedes you. I would fain share news with my own, but Oriange's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing a defeat of the Lord of Leven, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Oriange, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Oriange and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Leven's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Yes, please.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
But how?
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
But
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian.
I was about to say.
Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Is this that second between realm? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Lord of Leven is returned to the ether, as was Leviathan before him. Yogorim, Igewayorim. Narab. RAMUH's acquaintance was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Wall, and Leven, all have now been humbled by the bringer of light. The limitless potential of man, Heidel's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost of her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses surveyed in the rejoining, but their souls grow weak and fan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. What? And that is the task to which we bend our every effort? Lahabria. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eosia's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands we shall new deities arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. I'm worried. I'm worried. Oh, I'm worried. Oh, no. But students of Baldessian! Students of Baldessian! Oof. Oh, what do you have up your sleeve now? Minfilia? Now the matter of RAMUH has for the present been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Stava. This is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eosian Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless services to the realm. It mentions in particular the name of all of the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogulmog the 12th, Leviathan, and now RAMUH. Needless to say, there is only one among our numbers who have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Stavo, and Eosia is that much safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me when I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured the man would foment strife on his own. That man. And that is only to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. And there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace. We owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in doing so. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but I think the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the beastmen who wish naught of conflict, and who now would call you friend. Of Alessi, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. And then there is Sid, and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of the ancient Allag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when I speak of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat we shall. Your enthusiasm is thoroughly heartwarming, Ascendant. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. I was guessing it was him. Alfpinaud, I take the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such as I stand before you now. That to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. Ah, I have a message for you from Ellie. You recall the refugee girl? The ones whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alfpinaud, am I to understand that you made the efforts to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Stabo, you have been away from Raven's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment, and take this opportunity to recant yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Your son was his name? I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him a visit? Okie dokie. Look, it's Miss Dabalina. She's back from her adventures. We heard that you were fighting off primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could see you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our own, very own, Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Dabo? Maybe you could show us how to fight the primals? What's all this commotion then? Miss Boulder and Mr. Coltner, did you know that Miss Dabo is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Dabo. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Science, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I know as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is called Culent. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We're adventurers. And we're just asking Miss Dabo if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Well, you're certainly being diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Modona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Dabo? A demonstration at skill of arms, if you will? Horay, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against the legend. Ah, well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Sabo? Would you consent to spar with me? Stoic nod. Hurrah! We're going to have a tournament! Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. I don't think that's what we said. But okay. Do try not to disappoint them, hmm? Have faith, Coolant. I shall summon every last one of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Our bout indeed. East will be this way and right there. Oh, yeah. It was good of you to agree to this, Dabo. I trust you are ready to begin? Sure. Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hori, you certainly wish to fight her alone? That is Dabo you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt this first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Science to begin with. Without Stabo to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Oh, everyone wants to come. What, Ida? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find, thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there was still more to come. When I mentioned Stabo's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Burgeoning? Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Such power. The tales barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder wouldn't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. The children have the right of it. 'Tis time I joined the fray. On your feet. Oh no, he looks hurt. Miss Stabo is so strong, but you can't give up, Miss Boulder. I can't disappoint the siblings. Arr! Younglings. 'Tis sampler follows. Surrender not to the impactable foe. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible. She beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Dabo. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Impressive as always, Davo. It is even a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial powers. Ever. By judging by the smile on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardians of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial services for the Battle of Cartnow. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expanded towards the solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought the Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles the home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The legate's single-minded military invasion preluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back on their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for their inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavour to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Of course, however, it's not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascian is new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue the discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. So Science 2.0? Thought that was what the science was on about, but they've turned a little bit political, so we need to make new ones. Thank you for coming, Stabo. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Recruiting the realm. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th astral era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against a threat that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is in dispute, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trail company. It would be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capability of the same manner of unrestricted operation according to the science. So they will be under the science. Okay. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of the misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Science work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Science Command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talent. The goal of my proposed organization and those of the Science are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before we can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged in bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. I did think that this would be close to the end of something, but I feel like I'm restarting a new thing. So I'm going to continue that in the next video, visiting all the places, and call this a video. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything to say, just, comment it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and stab out.